Yo, what's going on everyone? It's me, it's Jinsula. I hope you're having a good day and welcome to today's Pokemon Go video. Yeah, so today we gotta talk about a new way that players are finding themselves getting banned in Pokemon Go, and considering that we right now have a Team GO Rocket Takeover event, this is pretty big because there's going to be a lot of players out there who are going to be grinding it out hardcore when it comes to Team GO Rocket battles, and some of those players might end up finding their account temporarily banned. The reason for this is because Niantic has placed new metrics to determine whether or not someone is cheating, and one of those metrics is how many Team GO Rocket encounters you engage in. I believe a player discovered what the number is going to be for getting yourself banned at around 160 encounters, and this is all within a 24-hour period. They basically had a Team GO Rocket balloon and then they just continuously encountered that Team GO Rocket grunt and then they would leave, and they did this repeatedly until their account got banned. And this was brought to Niantic's attention and they actually said that they looked into it and then they addressed it. But actually what ended up happening is that players were finding that they were still getting their accounts banned, and this was after doing way less than the 160 that was initially reported. And this is really bad because Niantic has had a very bad track record of being transparent with what constitutes a ban in Pokemon Go. There is the obvious stuff like GPS spoofing, like if you were to spoof halfway across the world within a second, I'm sure that would be enough to constitute a ban. But there are a lot of other things that players do that end up getting themselves banned even if they're playing legitimately. And I think this is just one of those cases where Niantic needs to be transparent. They need to tell us exactly what constitutes a ban because there's going to be a lot of players out there who are going to be playing hardcore this Team GO Rocket Takeover event, and they're going to find that their accounts are going to get falsely banned, and that is not a good thing. I mean, at the very least, the bans that they're dishing out for this Team GO Rocket thing is only temporary bans. Like, if they were to do permanent bans, I think the uproar would be a lot more severe. But at the same time, I really do think they need to take a second look at how they detect cheating, because this is definitely those cases where people are getting false flagged. They're playing the game legitimately. They're not doing anything that is shady or breaking the terms of service. They're just simply going out and completing as many Team GO Rocket battles as they can, especially within the short amount of time that we have this takeover event. Because in case you didn't know, we got ourselves a bunch of new shadow Pokemon that are actually extremely meta relevant, and getting high IVs for those specific shadow Pokemon is going to be extremely valuable, and you will want to remove frustration off of those Pokemon as soon as you can. And because of that, a lot of players tend to grind it out for Team GO Rocket battles as soon as they rotate the shadow Pokemon, and this is definitely one of those events where they are doing that. But if Niantic is punishing these players for essentially playing hardcore, then that's going to be a really bad look on Niantic and Pokemon Go in general. So I really do think this is something that Niantic needs to fix. They need to iron this out as soon as possible, because there's definitely going to be a lot of players out there who are going to find their accounts banned, and it's going to be a terrible look. And on top of that, there's so many different technical issues going on right now that a lot of players are just adding this to the laundry list of a lot of problems with Pokemon Go. And I really do think that if Niantic wants to have a more positive outlook with their community, then they need to make sure certain things like this do not happen. And that really hasn't been the case, because for the last several months, Niantic has had so many different missteps that the reputation with this company, with the player base, has gone just completely downhill. And I really do think that when it comes to Pokemon Go, the average player experience is just full of different problems like this, and it really is very detrimental for how much people enjoy this game. I mean, aside from this temporary ban that started happening for people doing Team GO Rocket battles, there has been so many different technical issues related to PvP. This is something I did touch on in my channel, but we're about to get a brand new season in PvP. Like, we're gonna get a move shakeup, we're gonna have a whole bunch of different leagues, and I'm sure there's going to be some players who will want to try out PvP for the first time. But if Niantic has not fixed any of the issues that players have been constantly bringing up, then a lot of those players are going to try out PvP, they're going to see that it is a buggy, glitchy mess, and then they're just never going to touch it again. I already see a lot of players doing that with this most recent season because of all of the different technical issues. So Niantic really needs to take a step back and just focus in on polishing up their game. We do have a lot of features that are about to get released, like Gigantamax and Dynamax Pokemon, as well as apparently breeding. And I do feel like with a lot of these features, if Niantic is neglecting what is already broken, then all of these new features are going to lose out on some potential hype. So yeah, Niantic, if you happen to be watching this video, I really do think you need to dedicate a lot more resources into fixing what is currently there. And especially when it comes to these sort of things where you're dishing out false bans, that is something you definitely need to address. This is just something that is unacceptable. Take it from me, as a Pokemon Go player, I've dedicated so much time, energy, and resources into my account. I have certain Pokemon that have extreme sentimental value. There are certain Pokemon that I caught on my wedding day. I actually have a 100% IV Raikou from my wedding day. And there's a bunch of Pokemon that I got from Pokemon Go Fest and Go Tour that I want to hold on to. And for me to get my account banned and to completely lose out on all those experiences would be detrimental. It would be devastating. So I really do think that for any player, getting their account banned is something that they pretty much all fear. And for Niantic to do this, I think is a very bad look for that reason alone. For some players who dedicate so much time and resources into this game, they shouldn't be having that fear that they're going to get their account banned. That's not normal for any mobile game. If you're dedicating a lot of resources and time and energy into this game, you should feel like those things are permanent, that you're always going to have those things available to your account. And you don't have to have the fear of having your account banned as long as you're playing legitimately. But that just doesn't seem to be the case with Pokemon Go, and this is just more evidence of that. So yeah, I think it's a really bad thing that this false ban is happening. I really hope Niantic comes out and addresses it. Maybe they could post some community things like within social media, or maybe they could have a blog post specifically talking about it. But yeah, they need to reassure to the Pokemon Go community that they're not going to have their account banned for playing legitimately. That is such an awful look. But in any case, with that said, that's pretty much going to be it for this video. I just wanted to share my thoughts regarding this new ban thing with Team GO Rocket Grunts. Like, it really freaked me out a little bit because for myself, I did plan to go all out with this Team GO Rocket Takeover event. Like, there's a bunch of shadow Pokemon that I really want from this rotation, and I want to prepare myself for the upcoming PvP season because I do want to get engaged with it. But yeah, with this ban wave, it just freaked me out, and I'm pretty sure it did for a lot of other players as well. So yeah, if that happens to be you, I would like to know your thoughts in the comments down below. What are you thinking with this new ban? And do you think Niantic should address it? Do you think they should do something about it? Definitely share those thoughts and let's have a great discussion. And as always, thank you so much for making it all the way to the end of this video. If you ended up enjoying it, make sure you hit that like button and subscribe if it's your first time here. And also don't forget that little bell so you can stay up to date on whenever I upload videos. And real quick, let me give a shout out to all of my patrons on Patreon. You make this channel content possible. If you want to support the Jinsula channel, the best way you could do that is by joining my Patreon. If you become a paid Patreon member, you get a permanent spot on my in-game Pokemon Go friends list. So that means for stuff like remote raids in the friendship system, if you want to play Pokemon Go with me, then go and check out my Patreon. And if you want to support my channel in a different way, you could do so by following me on social media. My handle is @Jinsula. I'm on the platforms that you see on screen. Go over there and give me a follow. And that's going to be it for this video. I'm Jinsula. Be safe, have fun, love yourself, and I'll catch you all later.